Happy New Year. Hi, everybody. We're back for a new year of all things contact centers. 2024, let's go. Let's have it. I hope you've all had a lovely break, that you managed to recharge your batteries, and that the year has started well for you. I hope you are here. Um, yes, Raymondo is here. Happy New Year, Raymondo. Looking forward to speaking to you later. Let's start with say hello in the comments, everybody. Let's get to know each other. And what part or area or discipline, if you like, of contact centers do you specialize in? Um, we have so many people here as part of our little gang. It's been nice to know what you specialize in. Jules is here, the DJ. Good morning and happy new year. Darren is here. Hello, mate. Happy new year to you. Jean Michel, we are here and excited. Oh, that's good to hear, mate. Yeah. Kerry's here. Happy new year, everybody. And happy new year to you. The oil barrels are on the way. Yes, Danny's here, everybody. Happy New Year, sir. Culture. I was going to say culture vulture, but I think you're culture B. Yes, Caroline. How are you doing? Also, Steve as well. Good to join. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Steve. Dara's here as well. Good morning. Right, Jules is the first one coming up with. I'm not in contact centers any longer, but still interested in it. Loved my time, hence being back here. I'm back in radio now. That's brilliant. That is brilliant. Very talented man, Jules, you are. And Jean Michel and the gang are all in telecoms. Hello, Caroline. How are you? Happy New Year. Um, Mina's here. Hi, Mina. Good to see you yesterday as well. Mina is a superstar of the team leader community. Kerry is, I'm a recruiter placing leadership talent into contact centers, and one of the best as well, Kerry. Definitely one of the funniest. Alan, good morning, sir. How are you? So, Danny says, hello, I'm a psychologist that specializes in the people part, culture and engagement. I'm like lubricant, making everything run smoother. Right. We're 3 minutes in, Danny, and I'm talking about lubricant. Oh, look. Yes. Ada! Woo! 2024. Let's go. Let's go indeed. Yeah, that's in the oh, if you're writing a comment and it's not coming up here in my feed, please just refresh LinkedIn, come back, please, and it should show. I'm definitely not missing anyone's on purpose. So Danny says currently process improvement, automation, and customer contact technology. That's great. Love a bit of process improvement. Um, It is great to be back. It's good to see you. Are we past that stage of not knowing what day it is? It's definitely Tuesday, although someone did send me a message on LinkedIn saying happy hump day. And I'm pretty sure hump day is Wednesday, right? So, yeah, we're past that period, hopefully. Um, whatever you think when you hear lubricant says more about you than anyone else. I'm not alone in that, Danny. Come on, mate. But true, true. You were thinking machines and the smooth running of a machine, uh, which is what I was thinking as well. Oh, yeah, another MT is here. Michelle, Happy New Year. WFM is my thing, and definitely one of the best at it. Uh, a long time ago now, I was in ops when Michelle was WFM, um, and she showed me the ways. Um, I'm sure I drove her to drink. Danny, we're quite far from Christmas now. I've only got the Milky Way celebrations left. No, surely it's the bounty ones. The bounty ones are always the ones that are left. Darren's here. Good morning, sir. Good morning, my friend. Loads of great content from Darren. Depeche Pesh is here. Happy New Year to you, sir. They were happy times, Michelle, weren't they? We enjoyed ourselves. I used to love coming over to your area and just monkeying about and doing work, of course. Now, I'm a man of many hats. He definitely is. Many hats. He's an Australian Viking, so one of the hats has horns. I'm a man of many hats, but consultancy, selling, CX training are the main ones through a QA, continuous improvement lens. Oh, that's lovely. That's a lovely sentence. I think you're underselling yourself there, though, Pete. You practically know everything. Kim's here. Hello. Happy New Year, Kim. Thanks, and you all. Ah, thank you, sir. Uh, I've never laughed so much. Yeah, we did have a good laugh, didn't we? And um, I always think that's a good sign. If you're working somewhere where you laugh a lot, then you can't be going wrong. And memories forever. Horns and corks. This is already taking a weird turn, but I love it. Health and safety corks, those are, Pete, on the old Viking hat, aren't they? Australian Viking. I'm a people guy, says Alan. Help them to become the best version of themselves they can be. And that's great because I know you head up ops. And if you have that kind of people focus, then right behind you, mate. I love that. Absolutely love it. Yeah, do let us know. And like I say, if your comments aren't coming through, please refresh LinkedIn. Sometimes there's a disconnect between LinkedIn and this platform that I use. Um, I have been bugging them in a nice way. TCH, we are all about the people. Our doors are open. Anyone welcome to come see us? Oh, that's nice, Pesh. Lovely. Whereabouts in the world are you? We should. I think we've shared that once before. We should probably do it again, where we all are, so we can. If we're ever driving around, traveling around, maybe we could check in on each other. Darren, people and team engagement to drive results, support development, also building and scaling teams. And one of the best at it, I think, Darren, as well, based on your role of honor. Oh, Marcus is here. Talking of, so Marcus was also working at the same time and in the same company as me and Michelle. Happy New Year to you, sir. One of the loveliest human beings on the planet, Marcus is. Absolutely love him. You, love you, mate. Pesh, you were in South Wales, Swansea, and South Africa. Lovely, brilliant. Okay. So please do keep share. Let's share with each other what part area of contact centers do you specialize in? Um, a blast from the past. I think the new year makes people do this, but someone messaged me on LinkedIn last night, and we'd worked together even before I was with you guys, Michelle and Marcus. And he said, "What is it you do now?" And I'm still struggling with that. I'm still struggling with that one. Um, yes, Caroline is in Glasgow, the green side of Glasgow, um, and in consultancy. Come on, there's far more. You've got many arrows in your quiver. Um, Happy New Year. Disappointing there is no snow on Dartmoor yet. No, you're going to have to let me know who you are. I know everyone else can see it. I can't. I would like to say hello. There was snow here last night. I'm near Oxford. So our football training for the girls team that I manage was extremely cold. But the snow, everyone loved it and it made them run around a bit more. Now, the amazing Beverly, aka Raymondo, because she's a ray of light in the team leader community, is all about client management and CCAS implementation are my focus, but has operational and loads of other skills and experience. It's Kirsty. Hey, Kirsty. Oh, Dartmoor's beautiful part of the UK. Great to see you and Happy New Year. So please do keep these coming in. I'm only able to bring you this show because of my partners. I'm only able to stay in a house because of my partners. But I do want to start the year with some great news. So here we go. The first VT of this year's show. Yay! I'm very pleased to say that I have a new silver partner, and that is OneCom. So I've been spending a lot of time with Katie Mansell and the team over at OneCom. We share a lot of the same values, and they are the UK's largest independent business telecoms and cloud comms provider. We have a load of really interesting plans to share great content, helpful content, and I'm really pleased to say I'm going to be working with them this year. They are a silver partner, and part of that means that I'm able to bring you shows like this. So, very pleased to be announcing that. It's a great start to the year. I'm very, very happy. So, thank you, Katie. Thank you, OneCom, and all the people there. I'm really looking forward to carrying on our conversations and getting stuck into some great content. Right, let me just go back to Danny says it was exceptionally cold here overnight. I talk in my sleep. Do you really? Was so cold my breath froze and I could read it this morning. Oh, read the whole thing. Read the whole thing, Martin. Come on. I fell for that at school as well. Southwest UK, Wiltshire, not too far away from me in Oxfordshire, Darren. Thank you, Raymondo. Yeah, it's a great start to the year because this journey's had its ups and downs. So starting the year on an up, and I'm very, very happy about that. Predominantly because we get on so well. The OneCom team are really interested in doing things the right way, which is lovely. So I'm very, very happy. Now, also over Christmas and the New Year, there have been a load more orders on. Hold on one second. I don't want to miss anything. Happy New Year! Excited to be working with the most advanced conversation AI in cold and sunny Ramsgate, says Morris. Happy New Year, Morris. Yes, at the cutting edge. Lovely. Yeah, there's been a lot of interest and orders in the hoodies. Human error, ordered too many. So if you've already made a comment, you're in the draw. Okay. So what I'm going to do is go through all of the comments. If you comment on this live at any point, your name is in the hat. Oh no, I've just realized what I've done. Tommy, I'm so sorry. That's Tommy underneath the Get Out of Rap logo. Um, oh, I will do another one. I'm sorry, my friend. Yeah, so if you would like to be in the draw, which I will do on LinkedIn tomorrow, I'll do a recording, spin the wheel of joy, and you can win a hoodie, a Get Out of Rap hoodie, if you comment on this live. So, and again, sorry, Tommy, look at that. I'm in Dunfermline and not too far away from Caroline. Oh, there you go. You should get together. I'll definitely be the one hidden. Do you know what? It's just I should know by now when I'm doing the design where my logo sits. So Tommy equals Mike Wazowski. Mike Wazowski is over there. He's in Wilson. So if you remember Wilson from the expo, look what Beverly sent me. She sent me another Wilson, complete with things. And I've added, there he is, Mike Wazowski, aka Tommy. But Beverly, thank you very much for that. Some of my people have fallen over. And I'm so lucky. This is the Light Up Get Out the Rap podcast still from the lovely Ruler. So Ruler, as you know, Raising awareness about cystic fibrosis because of her daughter who has been in hospital with cystic fibrosis. Still found the time to send me a lovely personalized get out of wrap display for the little corner of joy there. So just goes to show what a lovely human she is, and also Beverly, of course. Um, Jules says I'll definitely be the one hidden. Oh dear. I'm a leadership development and call center consultant tuning in from Wexford in Ireland, and it was lovely to meet you again, Dara, at the expo. Do we get more entries for more comments? Well, then you people like you, Danny, and Bev would have about 300 per episode. So no, Pete, I'm afraid I've got to say no. I'm not very good at saying no, but I've got to say no in this case. Now then, let's go with our question. I want to pick your brains. As we head into this new year, what do you think are the most important KPIs our contact centers should be focused on in 2024? Now, we, of course, have been going through a lot of stats, and we will go through some stats in a minute. But when you think about where we are as an industry, what do you think we should be focusing on? Now, there are so many KPIs in our industry, aren't there? And I think that kind of, how do you prioritize, right? Well, it starts now, starts in January. What do you think our what's the most important KPIs, or KPI? Should there just be one? What do you think? What do you think we should be focusing on as an industry? And whilst you have a think, I'm just going to have a quick sip of my coffee. Obviously, the mighty Spurs. Okay. Raimondo's quickest off the mark. Customer effort. I love that one. I love that one. We forget we're all customers, aren't we? And I think if you just ask yourself that question when you're dealing with companies through their contact center, what's the most important thing to you? I can personally, for me, low effort. Low effort. I can do what I want to do with a minimum amount of fuss and ideally time. So kicking us off with a cracker is Beverly there with customer effort, because I guess from that a lot of other things follow. Okay, Danny, for me, there's no one KPI. They're key performance indicators. Engage caps lock. They should indicate what we already know, but in greater granularity. If we have no reporting, we can still tell which of our people give the best service. Yeah, that's lovely. If you lose your reporting, you still know what's going on, don't you? Um, should there be are there a couple that spring to mind, Danny, or do you just think actually the KPI is just the reporting measure? Pete, when a measure becomes a target, it ceases to be a good measure. Goodhart's law. Again, this is why I love doing this show. Just learn so much stuff. It's brilliant. Goodhart's law. I'm going to check that out. See, you're so. That's going to sound sarcastic. I'm not being sarcastic, but you're so knowledgeable, mate. Employee satisfaction leads to everything else. Very rarely measured. Dara, love that. Okay. Simon, Happy New Year, sir. Got to be attendance and attrition. We have to support our staff in wanting to be in. We rely on them 100% to represent us, so we need to look after them. So true. Lovely, Simon. Morris says, beyond customer effort, one of the most interesting KPIs we have found is confusion. Ooh, we found that confusion doubles call length in most industries. A new measure. I love it. How do you measure it? What are the things that go to make that up? Is it just through monitoring the interactions? You can tell confusion, right? So I love that though. Darren says, here's some of the stats previously shared. Average call durations are now the highest they have ever been at 426 seconds for a service call and 516 seconds for a sales call. Average speed to answer is now the highest it's ever been at 120 seconds. Call abandonment rate is now the highest it's ever been as well at 9.1. Staff attrition is up 24%, which is highest it's been since 2009. Now, when you look at those kind of stats, Darren, which we have been, you're right. It shows that this needs to be a transformational year, right? 2024, we need to get on top of this stuff. And let's hope that in 2025, sounds weird saying that, but in 2025, we're looking at a much better picture where we're not seeing some of these points being at their worst since 2009. Spencer, apologies for being late again. We'll let you off. Contact centers should always strive to provide excellent service to all consumers, but it is particularly important to focus on the needs of disabled consumers. This includes ensuring that all communication channels, such as phone lines and chat features, are accessible to those with hearing or speech disabilities. Additionally, contact center staff should receive training on how to communicate effectively with disabled consumers and let me just find the next part, and be prepared, I guess, right, Spencer. But I couldn't agree more. Spencer's joined the team leader community and is already helping us with a greater awareness of how we show up for people with disabilities. So, absolutely recommend, if you're serious about offering a great service for all, that you get in touch with Spencer. I love indicators like recommend a friend to work here, employee referrals, and early life attrition, first 4 weeks. Yes, the kind of no shows was always a sign, wasn't it? Recommend a friend as well. Yeah, if you went through a period where Michelle was actually, and Marcus, where we went through rapid growth in a short space of time, and recommend a friend was really important to us. And I'm pleased to say that we got a lot from that, which is a great sign, isn't it? That people are saying, yeah, they're to their friends, you should come and work here. Martin's a bit of a pain, but everything else is all right. Alan says, see the vision and make it happen. Get the people right, the numbers look after themselves. That's right. It's an output, isn't it, Alan? Spot on, Dara. And that was the point on customer satisfaction, wasn't it, Danny? Pesh says, we will continue to build the ecosystem and our EVP for our staff. If we do this and the culture and environment thrive, then this flows through to our client and partners. Brilliant. Love that, Pesh. How do we measure confusion? Genesis have entered the chat. Team engagement is not rocket science, but engaged and empowered team members usually deliver a better service to customers. Pulse surveys are one way to measure this, and you can do them regularly. Love team engagement, Darren. We are monitoring the interactions with lexical and acoustic tools. Brilliant. Love to know more about that, Morris. Darren Gracie, are they contact Babel stats or other? Pete says there's lots of research out there showing managing against two numbers produce worse results compared to ensuring awareness. Love that. Danny is right. Keep an eye on the numbers, but don't hold people to them. Engage, empower, and train your employees to deliver the best that they can. Oh, I do love sketchplanations. Thank you, Pete. Everyone else as well, if this is your first exposure to sketchplanations, quite difficult to say, it is a fantastic free resource, especially if you're visually minded. I get a every other day email from them. It's a brilliant site, great visuals. Definitely check it out. Ian says early attrition is often a symptom of your recruitment, not accurately giving people a true view of what the job will be like. And Ian, good to catch up the end of last year. They are from Contact Babel, says Darren to Raymondo. It does need to be legit, recommend a friend. I've seen one company open the initiative. Employees went to the local shopping centre and simply handed out flyers to get strangers to join the business and get them their recommendation fee. So not really a recommendation. Oh, those roister doisters, those trickster dicksters. Oh, the mischievous part of me laughs. Recognize and reward the behaviors, not the results. Should have had a better recommend the friend scheme because they saw an opportunity, went straight to it. So not only have we had a new measure from Morris, there's some great stuff in here, guys. And I guess one of the things is it shows what I'm seeing as well with team leaders is um, it's hard to know what to focus on when there are a lot of reports. So perhaps a culmination of some of the things you've all been saying, but also noticing as well, as Pete has said, as Danny has said, that um, it's about overall awareness, right, and keeping people happy, as Alan said, and Ian and others. That we do we focus too much on the numbers? I mean, we're going to focus on them in a second, right? But those are to hopefully drive the right activity and the right action. So um, again, you've got off to a great start, everybody. Super knowledgeable. You all are. Love it. Okay. Talking of super knowledgeable, I will be joining two super knowledgeable people tomorrow. So this is tomorrow at 3 p.m. Courtesy of Centrical. I will be with April Critchlow, who is the CMO at Centrical, and Nate Brown, the co-founder of CX Accelerator. I'm hoping they do most of the talking. But we're going to be talking about a new era of performance management for the front line and shattering the illusion. Something that we all shared when we were coming up with what we should talk about is why has performance management become synonymous with negativity? If someone wants to come and talk to me about how I could do this show better, I would think that's a good thing. Um, but too often, I think we associate, or certainly agents and team leaders do, when someone says, "Can we come and talk to you about your performance?" If these things aren't happening regularly in a positive way, naturally people think, "Am I being managed out of the business?" And that's wrong. So there's a webinar tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it. It's free to attend, of course. You can see it there actually, but if you go to centrical.com/events /webinar, new era, blah, 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 you will find it. I will put the actual link as well in the comments, but it'd be great if you could attend and contribute because you've just shown you guys know your stuff, right? So um, I hope that's something that you all can make time for. So let's go to our favorite section. So we are going through the CX Decision Makers Guide for 2023-24. For those of you that are really following this astutely, we're on page 86 I think of about 115. So let me just quickly. Performance management is a dirty word because we manage the numbers that people can't control. And in most instances, we can't even influence. That is great. That's great, Pete. I'm 100% stealing that with pride. If you manage performance, it is negative. But if you are working on performance improvement, you are always working towards a positive goal. Oh, that's great. Can you two attend, please? And just repeat that tomorrow. But I couldn't agree more. The language that we use is important, and how we show up for people when we're covering performance is equally important and can be a real positive, right? It doesn't have to be negative. Now, yeah, so we are on page 86. The CX Decision Makers Guide surveyed hundreds of CX leaders and also 1,000 consumers. We've been going through it and we got to this graph here, which is change in channel preference. So this is a high complexity interaction. And as with urgent requests, the preference for telephony jumped hugely during the pandemic and has remained high, probably for the same reasons. It seems, and I'm reading this from Contact Babel, it seems as though customers, possibly through their own unsatisfactory experiences, have formed an opinion that they simply want to be talked through their complex issue rather than trying and failing to do so using self service. I think that warrants me repeating it. Their interpretation of this graph is it seems as though customers, possibly through their own unsatisfactory experiences, have formed an opinion that they simply want to be talked through their complex issue rather than try and fail to do so using self service. Now, would you agree with that sentence? And what are your views on this? So, channel preference based on a high complexity interaction. Way in front is ring the call center, followed by visit the store. So again, similar, right? Then email, then web chat, quite close together. Then website self service or mobile app. My favorite group, no preference. And then finally, tail end Charlie, social media. Let me just catch up with these on performance. I'll repeat it again. Recognize and reward the behaviors, not the results. Most performance management approaches focus on the outcomes, the results, and the numbers, and that is its downfall. Love that, Danny. Alan says performance management is a safety net to prevent any other action happening. It nurtures and grows when delivered in the best way. Lovely, lovely that, Alan. Now, looking at this, then, does this reflect your experiences, your contact center, or what you are seeing? And also from the viewpoint of you as a customer, if you had a highly complex situation, interaction that you wanted to deal with, would your preference reflect the 1,000 consumers that were uh, spoken to? And it is interesting how from 2020, ringing the call center took a huge leap. And again, this would be right, wouldn't it? During the pandemic, we needed that human interaction and reassurance more than ever, I think. Um, Email dropping off, web chat dropping off, raising slightly over the last year. Any surprises in there, or shall I move on? Let's move on and see the business view, shall we? So, this is the business's view on the best channel to use. Um, Hold on, let me just go back so we can. It jumped in 2020, but the cause might not be COVID. There was a marked increase in self serve software options available to SME contact centers in 2019, which weren't always fit for purpose. Customer trust in self service took a pummeling in 2020. Interesting. Kerry says, I'd always call for a complex issue because the self serve channels I've seen are for simple interactions and rarely work for more complex problems where there is not a yes no answer. Very true, Kerry. Very true. Now then, let's go to businesses were asked their views on what they thought the best channel for customers to use would be for each of the three scenarios. So we have high emotion, high urgency, and high complexity. Telephony was seen as very much the front runner, with the majority of businesses stating that customers would be better off picking up the phone for any type of interaction. Email was seen as appropriate for complex interactions, which most customers disagree with, in parentheses, and web chat, and to a lesser extent, web self service for urgent issues, was also seen as a possibility. So, for highly urgent, uh, let's see, Alan says, by design, human beings want to gain information and reassurance. They want to know who owns the problem and who will fix it. Do you think as well that there's a part of that that comes across in if you're speaking to someone who confidently reassures you through their language and the inclination and the tone of it, um, that also has an impact rather than reading it. Um, and Spencer, it'd be good to get your view here on obviously, ringing isn't an option. So when it comes to, and again, this is to thanks to you, I'm thinking about these things now that for highly emotional, highly urgent, and highly complex situations, the channels open to you are reduced, right? So how have you found? How do you find the experience, and how might we as an industry improve that? Um, yes, ditto. Thanks, Alan. So no real surprises there that across all three, the business's view, so the CX decision makers, they think the same as well. Perhaps highly urgent web chat takes a greater chunk there. Morris says trust also impacts call lengths. Um, does that mean that if I think I'm trusting the person I'm talking to, I'm more likely that the call to finish the call quicker, or is it the reverse, Morris? Really interesting stuff. We now come to um, customer surveys. Customer surveys have been an integral part of most businesses since time immemorial. Recently, there has been a great increase in the number of organizations implementing voice of the customer programs, often based around large scale analysis of call recording. But the more traditional direct methods of understanding customer experience and requirements are still very much present. So let's have a look. Yes, Barry's here. Hello, mate. Agreed, Alan. As a customer, it's all about the reassurance from the individual I'm talking to about my complex query. Feels like you just can't get that empathy and listening from an online journey. There is still a lot around trusting an AI for the online things still. Yes, if I trust your answer, I won't ask more questions. So the call length reduces. Glad I was right on that one, Morris. Thank you. So, proportion of customer surveys gathered by method. And I found this interesting. It's nice. It's a nice bit of info to know, isn't it? So, last year, how were customer surveys gathered from the people that were surveyed? And you can see 35% were done through email. The next highest was live agent at 21%, SMS 14%, IVR 11%, web form 5%. I wonder if it will tell us what other is. Um, no, is is the answer to that. What could other be? Um, okay, so this is interesting as well. The live agent, these are predominantly outbound survey calls carried out by live agents in 21% of cases, which allow a depth of qualitative information to be collected from which insights can be drawn. Both SMS and IVR are more positioned towards gathering quantitative information, often aligned to KPIs. Um, Pete says low trust drives repeat demand failure, reduces channel containment, and increases call length. Our gut tells us when something is wrong, so we keep digging. Love that. Do we have the total volumes for this data, please? Um, Overall, yeah, this is from. I'll get the number for you, Jean Michel, but it's something like 350 odd decision makers. So they're running CX operations, contact centers. So it's those people. Other could be focus groups. Yes, if a lot of people now have started to have their kind of super users, and maybe they're accessing them. Wondering if those live agent surveys included the data gathering surveys for lead gen seems very high. So one is kind of cannibalizing the other because it's a secondary part, is what you're saying, Bev, right? Yeah, that's interesting. Um, Surveys are still really unreliable, and that is a cause of poor customer experience. That is why I moved to interaction analytics. And that unreliability, Morris, do you want to expand on that? I, th- I would have a go myself, but I don't want to. You're the man in the know. Um, Personal experience, I think, dependent on where you get someone and the outcome of what's happened, it's going to have a big influence. And I think also there is a little bit of kind of, we're polite, aren't we? So I don't know about you. If I'm buying something face to face and it comes up on the keypad, the POS machine, I generally hit quite a high number because I don't want to look someone in the eye before they've handed over the Spurs shirt that I'm buying if I've scored them a three. Um, so interesting, isn't it? Live agent higher than we would think. Now then, let's look at. Here we go. We're now into complaints. It was a quick detour into surveys, and now we are into complaints. Interestingly, there was no info taken. Well, there's a few paragraphs about employee engagement, but that's covered, I think, in other things. Let's have a look at complaints. I might have these the wrong way round. Yeah, hang on. Here we go. Percentage of calls that are complaints is the bars. Percentage of complaints about the contact center is the line graph. And this goes all the way back to 2010. So we can see, can't we, a real peak in 2022. Um, scoring three. Well, I think we're scoring a lot at the moment, Peter. We're conceding a lot as well. It's exciting. Um, Also, what are those live agent surveys made up of? Are they the simple smiley face or sad face, which are quick and captured at the end of a call chat? Depends on the extent of what's defined as a survey. Yes, I think this is Darren. I think you're right. You're kind of with Morris on this one about the how reliable. There's indicators, aren't they? But let's think about complaints. Um, what do we think about this? So the proportion of calls received that are complaints, and then what are those complaints about? So complaints about the contact center. What happened between 2012 and 2013? Uh, it's peaked at 23% and has been around 15 to 20% since then. We came into 2010 at 13%, and it's been on the rise ever since. So from 2010 at 13% to 2023, we're now at 20%. 20% of all complaints are about the contact center. Seems high. Um, Percentage of calls that are complaints. In 2022, over 10% of all calls that were received by the people surveyed here. So good for you, 100. I'll get the exact number, Jean Michel. But 10.7% of all of those calls were complaints. Now, I don't know about you. I loved a complaint. I loved it because we got so much information to try and make things better. The complaints were how we shone a light on some of the broken parts of our customer journey and internal processes that supported that. Um, and even if you go back further, I liked talking to people complaining. Is a real challenge, seeing how you could turn it around because they're passionate, right? They were passionate about something. Um, so you scrutinize and go over them. What do you think of these? Does this reflect what you are seeing, feeling? Are you surprised, not surprised by this? Now, just on the survey point, it is a statistical fact, says Morris, that the number of responses and the amount of insight per response and the bias towards emotional engaged customers means that you see a fraction of what you get with tools. That's great because the tools don't care about any of those other things that you've mentioned, right? And you just get insight and data. Um, Customers can give you really interesting anecdotal stuff, but I would agree with you, Morris. But when we're thinking about complaints, what do we think here? What do we think? I would say they don't have the tools, says Kerry, training to handle the inquiry satisfactorily. That would be my experience anyway. Um, just the frontline teams, Kerry, right? That they um, they're not given the ability to handle the complaint through the two things you mentioned. Um, hey, Ross, I work as a customer support agent faced with a lot of complaints. Are you given training on how to handle them? How do you handle them, Ross? Like you, I spent a good few years as an agent dealing with complaints. Like I say, I kind of like them. Not always, not loads in a row at the end of the week, for sure. Simon, hello, sir. Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to you, Ross, as well. For me, there is a societal shift over this time frame. Knowing a complaint will lead to action or compensation, whereas previous generations or company policies to complaints did not reflect that action. Um, interesting, interesting. So, or you always escalate them. That's interesting. Yes, the frontline teams, when looking at the complaints that are about the contact center itself, yeah, true. I mean, any team I was responsible for where a percentage of our calls were complaints, like I say, we had a kind of analysis program running that we would use that as a way of finding out how we could improve. But in terms of dealing with the individual who was complaining, we gave people training, we had tools, and we would talk about what people were likely to say, what we considered our best response. Marcus, 2012, 2013 was coming off the back of the financial crisis, plus PPI scandals in financial services sector, more awareness by customers. Very true, Marcus, and kind of backing up Simon there. Our propensity to complain has increased, is what you're saying, for various reasons, right? Compensation, being told that you should be aggrieved about certain situations. So this, I guess, then isn't a surprise. These numbers probably lower maybe than expected. I don't know. I'm putting words in everyone's mouth, and that's not my job. I don't know what my job is. So it's been great. We've rattled through today. Break the complaint down into a subsection: procedural, systematic, structural, or behavioural. Love that. Find the root cause and solve it. This level of feedback is invaluable as long as it's acted upon. Yes, we are the same. Ditto again, Alan, on that one. Um, I like this. People complain about anything these days for various reasons. I agree, says Jean Michel. G'day, Luke. Hello, my friend. Happy New Year to you. That seems too high. 1/5 of all complaints against an organization are for the contact center service. People often confuse product with customer service. Really good point. Well made, in the nick of time, Luke. I just want to thank you all. Oh, there's one more. Let me just get this in because it's Barry. For me, it's about the root cause. The complaint can come from anywhere. CC is the front of the business, so we're always going to have a high number in complaints. What do we do as a business to understand the root cause and fix it? So true. So, everybody, the first show of 2024, we've done it. Thank you so much for all of your input and comments. Happy New Year, Luke, to you. Um, Happy New Year to you all. I hope the year started well. And I look for, and again, thank you to OneCom for partnering up with me, another partner, which is great. It gives me the opportunity to provide more good content, to do these kind of shows, to do new shows. We're planning some really interesting stuff. So thank you to OneCom. Um, that's very kind, Luke. Thank you, buddy. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you all next Tuesday. So thanks very much. Have a lovely rest of the week. It's been good to share the time with you. And I've really enjoyed it and learned a lot. You guys are super knowledgeable. Thanks for joining, everybody. Bye.